I finally got through the backlog of novelization arcs that Christian Francis sent me. So I had a backlog for a while, because the man writes with a fury of 1,000 typewriters, and he was producing, where are we now? May? Must have been 2 books a month for the first part of the year. But I've got through all of those now, and this was the last one, Night of the Comet. This one, now bearing in mind I read In the Mouth of Madness, and that is still swirling around in my brain now. Very, very good. If you didn't get that drift already, very, very good. This one, now bearing in mind it's still a horror novelization, with gruesome bits in there, it was a nice read. It might sound like a weird thing to say about a horror book, but after reading In the Mouth of Madness, which was intense and grotesque and excellently descriptive and brilliantly written, this, which is also brilliantly written, it was just a nice thing to read. That's just the vibe I get from it. I wasn't familiar with this one, as usual. I'm seldom familiar with the books that Christian novelizes. But this one was intriguing. There's a comet due to flash across the sky, and several people, our main characters, Reggie, she's sort of locked in the movie theatre with her boyfriend, and her sister Samantha is sort of stuck at home because her stepmom's throwing a party for the comet, and everybody's outside, and they're watching the comet, and then as it descends and flashes over the sky, it creates sonic booms, and from those booms, it does something. So their skin begins to itch, and then you sort of flash forward to the next morning, and everywhere is littered with piles of clothes where the people were standing. So essentially they've just turned into dust. Now, for people who were partially exposed to the Night of the Comet, it has sort of transmorphed them into I'm going to say zombie, but they're not a typical zombie. They still have their faculties. They still are able to do things like drive or fire guns or speak, And we sort of follow the two sisters navigating this kind of world, all the time trying to work against some scientists who basically want them for their, I'm going to say, survival abilities, because certain words are still not accepted by TikTok. But yeah, I read it all in one sitting. I can't remember how many pages it was, less than 200. But I read the whole thing in one sitting, and it was a really enjoyable read. I am almost sad that I don't have another one to read right now. Although I know Christian has just finished a pretty big movie, actually. Even one I've heard of. So I expect before June comes around, I will have another one in my inbox. But yeah, this one I gave 4 stars to, because it was a really enjoyable read, and it was a good one to go on to after the intensity of In the Mouth of Madness. So it almost cleansed my palate a little bit, because I'd read all 3 Maniac Cops, and I read In the Mouth of Madness, and then I went on to this. So it was a nice sort of like a build-up of intensity and horror and intensity. Build up that through the Maniac Cops to In the Mouth of Madness, and then eased you back down again. It was very enjoyable. And as always, I look forward to the next one.